So here's your first look at a real and fake pair of the Nike SB Dunk Tightboothe. Can you tell any difference between these two? Hopefully this video helps you. So today I'm taking a look at a real and fake pair of the Nike SB Dunk Tightboothe. The retail pair is here on my right, fake pair is here on my left, and this is just to help you if you're trying to purchase a retail pair and what you should look out for. So as you can see, the boxes are completely different. So the retail one comes in this new creamy Nike SB box with the grey text on top, as you can see here. Whereas the fake one, they haven't updated this one yet, and this one still comes in the purple box. So can't really compare the boxes too much because they're pretty different. So we'll take a closer look at the labels. So spinning the labels around to the side and we'll take a closer look, and you can see that labels are very different. On the retail one, it says Nike SB Dunk Low Pro QS, whereas the fake one, it says Nike SB Dunk Low. Also, the fake one's based on the US label, so has the US price tag. Most fakes base this off the US market just because the market's a lot larger, so they don't bother going for the UK label. So if you live in the UK and you purchased a pair, take a closer look at the label because this is something you should look for. Also, if you take an overall look at the font size across the label, you'll see it's very different from retail to fake, especially on the color code. But nobody really wants me to talk about the boxes for the entire video, so we'll open them up, take a closer look at the shoes. Let's open up the fake one first. So they come with that green wood grain paper, as you can see here. But I believe on the retail one, yes, they do come with the grey wood grain paper. So it's different from retail to fake straight away. The fake one's gone for the green paper and the retail one has a grey paper. So look out for that. So we'll open these up, take a closer look at the shoes. So here are the two pairs. Do you spot any differences? Let's take a closer look at some of the details. So the first difference I'm going to point out is the Nike swoosh on the outer side. And if you take a closer look, and I'll show you from the close-up, you can see that the swoosh placement is different from retail to fake. With the swoosh placed slightly lower on the fake one compared to the retail one, you can see there's more of a gap between the swoosh and the sole plate on the real one, compared to the fake one where you can see the swoosh is practically touching the sole of the shoe. So this is a difference you should look for straight away, especially if it's a dead stock pair and you've got it straight out of the box. The next difference I'd point out is the actual stitching going around the swoosh. So if I give you a close-up of this, you'll see on the retail one there's a gap between the outer swoosh and the stitching itself, whereas on the fake one you can see the stitching practically touches the outer edge of the swoosh. So the stitching isn't placed correctly on the swoosh. It's a telltale difference between the two pairs straight away. This might be quite hard to see, but on the retail one you'll see this leather panel here going all around the shoe in the white is actually a much softer leather used than on the fake one. So if you actually press into it, it does crease a lot more than the fake one does. The fake one is a pretty stiff leather and it doesn't show any marks of creasing when you push into it at all, compared to the retail one where hopefully it shows up on the camera, but you can see there are crease marks around the lace holes. Another difference that might actually be quite hard to see, and I can only really see it in studio lighting, is the actual material on the toe box here is a different color from retail to fake. On the fake one, it's actually a slightly darker color material compared to the retail one, but hopefully this shows up on the camera because it is actually really hard to see in person. But the material of the black on the fake one is darker than on the retail one, but it's a very minor difference. So obviously this is the Tightboothe Nike SB Dunk, and if you look at the label here in the orange label, you'll see it does say Tightboothe on this. If I give you a close-up from retail to fake, you'll see the label does actually have a difference between the retail and fake pair. So you'll see that the text is actually smaller on the fake one compared to the retail one, and it is also a little bit wonky. It doesn't go in a straight line like it does on the retail one, but the overall major difference is the actual text size, and that's an easy telltale difference, and one that I would look for straight away if you have a pair in hand. Spinning the shoes upside down, you'll see it does come with a white tread, and then the patch in the middle is in an orange, and it has the Nike SB logo. What I would say is this orange color is actually slightly different, with the retail one being slightly lighter than the fake one. The orange color isn't exactly what it should be. However, if you don't have a pair hand in hand to compare with, this will be really hard to tell. So my advice to you is only look at this if you have two pairs in hand, or actually have a retail pair that you know is in hand, because if you just have one pair in hand, that's a really difficult difference to notice. On the tongue label itself, if you spin it upside down, you will see it does have the word Tightboothe underneath, and if I give you a close-up of retail to fake, there's a key difference between the two. So the noticeable difference between the two is that the fake one, the text is actually slightly smaller than it is on the retail one. This is really easy to see when you look at the B and double O's. You can see that these are much larger on the retail one compared to the fake one when comparing them side by side from the close-up. So when I spoke to you earlier about the orange on the bottom being a different color from retail to fake, this actually occurs once again with the laces, and this matches the bottom of the shoe. So you'll see when I compare them side by side that the laces are a different color. You'll see that the fake one is a much darker orange than the retail one, and this is all over the shoe. The orange doesn't match that of a retail pair on the fake one, all orange parts of the shoe are slightly darker than they are on the retail one. So this shoe is all about the little details, and one of the things to look for is actually on the laces themselves. So on the edge of the laces you will see it says the branding Tight Booth. If you compare this retail to fake, and I'll show you from the close-up, you will see that the Tight Booth logo is different from retail to fake. It's a much brighter color on the retail one, it's much clearer and easier to see. You'll see it's in a white. Compared to the fake one, we can see it's much darker, almost a grey-like color, and the wording isn't quite as distinctive as it is on the retail pair. And these are the small differences you're going to have to look for if you are trying to authenticate, because at first glance, they are actually pretty close. So going back to the white panels, and we'll look at the toe box in particular, you'll see some of the ridges stand out a little bit more than other parts of the ridges. This is something that's only unique to the retail pair. On the fake one, all the ridges actually stand out practically the same amount. They're all the same length on the actual material itself, compared to the retail one where some stick out further than others. So it gives this kind of like 3D look. It's really pretty nice on the outer parts of the leather. Spinning the shoes around to the back, you will see it does have the Nike logo on the back, which is actually quite hard to see in this camera angle, but I will show you from a close-up, and you will see that the spacing on the fake one is different from retail to fake. On the fake one, it actually looks like the E is slightly further out than it is on the retail one. On the retail one, you can see they're all pretty much evenly spaced, but on the fake one, you can see that that E stands out a little bit more, so it kind of looks like the wording is a little bit wrong, and it just doesn't look as accurate. The final difference that I would point out is on the tongue, it does actually say Tight Booth going all the way down. On the retail one, you can see the text is printed out really nicely. There's no mistakes. The paint covers all the letters. However, on the fake one, hopefully this shows up on the camera, but the paint marking isn't actually that good, so there are mistakes on the outer edges of all the letters where the paint doesn't cover it fully, and they just haven't put the same amount of quality that and time that they've put into the retail pair. The retail one I think is a really nice pair, and I'm really happy to have it in my collection. It's not going for much money, so if you're picking them up for Christmas, I'd pick them up now before I think they'll go up, because like, why wouldn't you want this pair? This pair is so nice. So there's no point in me showing you the left shoe as well, because the same differences occur on the left one that occur on the right one. So the left ones are pretty much the same differences as on the right one. But hopefully this video has helped you if you are trying to authenticate your pair, because this pair is nice, and although it's not going for much money, you don't want to make that mistake. So I hope this video has helped you. Please like and subscribe. It helps me do more videos just like this, and I hope you have a great December and a great Christmas. Thanks for watching.